Okay, welcome to the GFSSL League. We have the owner of the Jaguars. So, for those that don't know who you are, I want you to first introduce yourself, name, city, and state you're from.
My PSN name is Who's Your Daddy? Um, I'm from Kentucky, and like you said, I'm the owner of the Jags. Grew up in Kentucky my whole life and lived here. So that's about it for me on that.
Okay, that's great. So, did you always grow up as a Jaguars fan?
No, I'm actually an Atlanta Falcons fan. I started off as a kid. I liked the Steelers, and they got rid of Cordell Stewart, and that was always my favorite quarterback. And then kind of migrated to the Falcons when Michael Vick was there, and just kind of liked that style quarterback. And just even after he left, I just stuck with them, and that's been my team uh, since then. And hold off on the 28-7 jokes.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely true on that. So, I realize that this is going to be your first year in the GFSSL League. What are you most excited about with this being your first year?
I think mostly the competition. I've played Madden for a long time. Not super competitive about it, but I've probably played Madden since Madden 2000. And I've messed around with the franchise leagues and stuff like that. And that's another thing that's kind of got me excited about the league is the consistency from what I hear about is, it's a year-to-year league and seems like you have the same people and it's really organized and stuff like that. So just an organized league, and then there's also the competition.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's a lot of guys. It's just like the real NFL. Any given Sunday, you can play up against somebody like I'm gonna say, for an example, myself, the Texans. We not the best of the best, but we can promise you it's gonna be competitive. We have a lot of other guys that's very good with good teams as well. So I definitely agree with you as far as competition. Now,
Yeah,
as
something
far as
else too is the no switch rule. I think that's pretty interesting. I've never played in a league like that before, so I'm excited to go with that and see how that is as well.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, definitely. You mentioned the no switch rule. So with you not having that familiarity with that style, when you get Madden, will you be open for scrimmages with other users, or are you going to pretty much get in the lab by yourself?
Definitely down to scrimmage with other people. I mean, I don't see the harm in it because it's Madden's all about adjusting anyway. So, even if they've seen something in a scrimmage that maybe one of my tendencies, it's about adjustments. You're not going to be in a competitive league and win if you're not able to adjust to what your opponent has and sees.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Speaking of the rules, is there any rules that you're concerned about? Are you pretty much 100% all in as far as the understanding of it?
Oh yeah, definitely read through it and everything seems fine to me. The 10-minute quarters is a big difference. Most leagues just play the 6 minutes, so that'll make games a little bit longer and a little bit more realistic. So that's kind of interesting.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. So let's talk about your team for a little bit. You have Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback, and then you have Calvin Ridley on the outside. I mean, how excited are you as far as playing with this offense?
Very excited because not only do we have Ridley, we have some other speed guys on the outside. Christian Kirk, he's a good wide receiver as well. Then you got Agnew that's really fast. ETN, a really good receiving back. So I'm really excited to try this team out and see what we can do with them.
Do you have any familiarity with this team, or will this be your first time taking coverage with them?
This will definitely be my first time playing with the Jaguars. I've played a few just regular head-to-head games with them, but nothing consistent enough to know, the ins and outs of all the players and stuff. I know some of them growing up in Kentucky, Josh Allen fan, on the edge and stuff like that. So excited to use him and just kind of see what I can do with them.
Yeah, that's definitely correct. So, just like the real NFL, they always don't tell you exactly what they're going to run, but they kind of give you an idea. As far as your offensive style, is you more spread? Do you like the pass, run, or what type of game are you?
I like to pass. I mean, sometimes I like to go four wide in a spread, or sometimes, you got to run something in tight formations depending on what your opponent's tendencies are and how they play certain formations. But I would say I'm definitely, 80-20 on pass to run ratio.
Okay, now I'm a firm believer that defense win championships. Offense sell the ticket still, even at this generation now. As far as your defensive side of the ball, how are you feeling as far as that side go?
Not bad at all. Like I mentioned, Josh Allen, he's a good edge rusher, and then also I got some speed on the outside with Tyson Campbell. He's quick. I got a few good coverage guys, so it'll be more or less, getting in the lab and figuring out what each of these guys can do as far as what their strengths and weaknesses are to see if I want to lean more towards zone or man or, what's going to fit best for my scheme.
As far as the back end, as far as the secondary, are you happy with those guys, or do you plan to maybe start trading or looking at free agency? How comfortable are you with those guys playing by themselves on the outside?
I think I'm comfortable. I think I got enough speed to keep up with most teams on the outside. Obviously, you got your outliers like Tyreek Hill and guys like that. But for the most part, I feel comfortable. Like I said, it'll be all about the feel and kind of a few games once I get into it, seeing how they're reacting and what their tendencies are, and then kind of adjusting to the league as well, where I've never played any of these guys before. So seeing how they like to pass, whether it's medium or long or short game, just trying to mix and match and move guys around to see what bets fits best.
Yes, that's definitely correct. It's all about knowing things about your opponent, because everybody plays different. You might have one team that like to run a lot of man. Then okay, you can probably test the corners. Then you have a lot of guys like to do zone, so you can kind of like run different type of route concepts against that. So that's definitely important. As far as the games on the schedule, what games are you most excited for? Do you have any games that you got circled?
So the one game I was listening to some of the previous interviews and Titans. He's in my division, so I'll get to see him twice. Just hearing about his resume, he's got a couple Super Bowls under his belt. So I think it'll be a really good gauger to where my team's at and what we can do and kind of where I need to improve at whenever we go throughout the season. So mostly him. Just sounds like he's the one of the top guys, and that'll really gauge how my season will go.
Yes, I agree with you definitely on that. Now, as far as the entire division from a team perspective, because I do realize you don't know who everyone is as of right now, but it's from a team perspective. Are you concerned any as far as the division besides the Titans?
I mean, as far as rosters go, I like my chances to go head up on any roster. We got Houston, Indy, and then obviously the Titans. As far as roster makeup goes, I think I'm right there at the top part of that. But the users and stuff will make a difference as well, and then being able to adjust. But roster wise, I think that my roster's up there with any of them.
Okay, and then the last questions, well, a few more questions is that do you plan to do any trading, or are you pretty much wanting to see how these guys play out for the next year or so?
Always down to trade. Always down to look to improve my team. I don't. I'm not big into keeping things stagnant because if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you gotta trade around to fit your scheme. You can't always just play to the how your players are in something like this. You got to be able to adapt and move and kind of fit, like I said, things that go with your scheme. As I'm a spread guy, so I may need to move around a few wide receivers or trade for a better offensive line a little bit along the way in order to get a few extra seconds for Trevor Lawrence back there.
Yes. So, as far as any final thoughts, as I said before, definitely welcome to the league. And with this being your first year, you definitely welcome everybody excited always for the new users to continue to keep that foundation that the league already have. But any final thoughts you would like to say to the franchise?
Final thoughts, just I'm really excited to get started. Can't wait. I've already got the game pre-ordered, so I'm ready to go. Launch day, just kind of go into practice mode, or if anybody wants to scrimmage, they can message me and we can get something going. And just really excited overall to finally find a league that seems very consistent and really competitive and very well ran. It seems like so. Just excitement all around.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, I definitely will keep up with those Jaguars and maybe a couple games before you actually play. We can kind of get some pregame interviews, postgame interviews. So we'll definitely be keeping in touch with you.
Okay, great. I appreciate it. Thanks for the interview, and looking forward to the year, and hopefully things go my way is the only thing I can say.
Sounds great. Well, we'll see you soon and take care.
All right, thank you.
Bye bye.